I hope you're not too hot.
No, I'm
Cheers,
actually
babe.
okay. Cheers.
You're all good?
Love the mugs. Cheers.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Today I've got Ellie, a new friend, on the potty. Ellie's a bit of a breath of fresh air, a creative, and someone who preaches a lot of the same things that I preach in a different kind of way. It's nice to see people doing things differently. So it was really cool. We connected and we shot a little something for, is it Woi Journal?
Woi, you got
Woi?
it. Yes.
So glad because I was like, better ask. And yeah, it was so cool to have a conversation with you that was that vulnerable. I'd never done that before. Yeah, you got multiple things on the go. You've written a poetry book and you're doing boxing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to get on, girl. But firstly, what inspired you to create Woi?
I think just the realization that introspection is the catalyst for everything. Like,
Yes.
you know, I spent so many years doing personal development and diving into all these practices and reading all the books. Actually, I didn't read any fucking books. I read like half a book.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm like, I got the gist, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I see where we're going with this. Yeah, I think just a realization that like self-care and self-accountability and self-awareness is so simple. Like when it comes to the actual practice of it, it's just going inwards, reflecting. You don't need much more than that, really. And I think just sitting with yourself and your thoughts is self-care enough.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to be doing all of these rituals and practices. And
Yeah.
I think
No,
just
you're
sitting
right.
with yourself, checking in,
So true.
you know, it's free. You
Yeah.
know, unless you buy my journal, but
Oh,
you know,
that's
like you don't need anything to, yeah, get to that place. So I just wanted to make that available, and journaling has been such a helpful tool for me. And I found like going through that journey, I remember so many people being like, yeah, I'd love to journal, but like, what do I write? You know,
Yeah.
most people are like, I don't know what to write. So
Prompts.
in my head, I was like, prompts. They come to me so easy, you know? I'm like, journal prompts. That's what people need.
Well, some of the main themes across your gram are really important ones, like love of the self, connection, and introspection. What would you say are your three biggest core values?
Myself or from Woi? I mean, they're probably
Well,
pretty integrated, but
I'd say they'd be generally
yeah.
pretty integrated, but I'd say
Yeah.
you. I just, yeah, I want to know about you.
Core values. I hate to say it because it sounds so cliche, but authenticity is probably
It's a shit
really
fucking word. We need to think of a better one, but
It
it's
is.
such a fucking real word.
It really just encompasses everything. Okay, yeah, so authenticity, vulnerability, I think is a really important part of my life.
Yeah.
And self-compassion.
Nice.
Yeah. We love self-compassion.
That's cool. That's really cool. Would you feel comfortable detailing a pivotal moment in your life, one that felt really like a door opening moment or a new version of yourself emerging?
I feel comfortable, yeah, let me just think.
Yeah, it can be on psychedelics or it can just be all natural or in meditation or...
The few times I've only ever done mushrooms as like a microdose with the intention to just go inwards and journal.
Yeah.
And the most profound moments I've had, which are the most simplest, is just like sitting with myself and realizing that there's nothing more important than like this current moment and everything that surrounds you and being connected to nature. You know, like it's so simple, and we spend our entire lives just searching for the meaning and our purpose and this and that, and we have so much like external.
Holy demon, that is hot.
Did you catch that with me?
Yeah, the light bulb.
Do you need some ice?
Oh, it's nice. Thank you. Yeah. That's perfect.
But yeah, I just think like that is the most pivotal thing for me, is realizing that I actually don't need anything external and I already have everything I need within me.
Yep.
And to be connected to nature is to be connected to myself, and
yeah,
that's the meaning of life in my mind.
As I move through life, I see how much of a theme change has been. It's like poetry. Sometimes things feel stagnant, like I'm at an impasse. On the opposite end of the spectrum, I feel like I'm a different person every day, every opportunity, really. Do you feel different and like a different version of yourself consistently, or does that mean I'm just inconsistent?
Oh, I love that. I really love that.
It's very extensive.
I think I was pondering this last night. I don't think stagnancy actually can exist. Like everything is changing always. There's literally no stagnancy in the world.
Yeah. But it's like sometimes do you ever just like week to week you're just like, when will things change? And then you look back on your life and you're like, fuck, I've been through some phases.
Yes. I
Some
think it's more
phases.
repetition than
Yeah, it's repetition.
stagnancy. And I think
Brilliant.
there's some people thrive in repetition and
Yeah.
routine and structure.
Yeah.
And some people are like, this is prison. I need change.
Yeah. And I guess they're all kind of like I love routine, but I also like things to be different as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I'm a very consistent kind of person I guess, in ways.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be anyway.
I think we're really similar in that. I remember when we first had a conversation about that, of like the contradiction of loving routine, but also thriving in chaos and like change. And I think both can exist.
I feel like that word, fucking chaos, makes me just go,
You don't want to ever be.
No, for some reason, it's like, do you know how different like words have different like energy behind?
Yeah.
For some reason, chaos just
not
did
it
that to me.
Wow, I love the word chaos.
No, it's like a really cool word. It's fucking chaos. Like
I use it as everything.
It's
every
so
day.
good. It was chaos. Yeah, and set in a fucking funny tone. It's perfect. I don't know why. I'm like, I need to change it.
Let's change that belief system around chaos.
Mix it up, darling. Your partner, what a man. One of my favorite things. One of my favorite things is when you just rate someone off the bat, which brings me to one of my favorite qualities about him. He's really curious and he's sincere about it. What's it like getting to rejoice in all of those good qualities so personally?
Oh, at the start, I found it really jarring. Because I almost thought it was a joke. Like I couldn't fathom that someone could be so curious to everything. Like, I hate to say that I don't like to say that I'm not a curious person, but I think I'm very much like nothing matters, doesn't matter. Like, you know, like I don't ask questions about things that happen, they just happen, and I'm like, cool, what are we doing with that information? I'm not really too caught up on how things happened or how things work or whatever. And he's just the complete opposite. So it's been really interesting. Yeah, like understanding his brain and why he's so curious and things, but also it's like I've learned so much. Like his curiosity makes me more intelligent because I'm like,
that's so good.
I'm learning through you, you know?
Yeah, you're both using
So yeah, in that regard, it's been great. And yeah, I mean, he's got so many other amazing qualities. Like you said,
I can imagine.
He's a honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're both very different in a lot of ways, but we have similarities in the things that count, I think. Like our values are very similar, and our politics and our beliefs and the things that, you know, could make or break a relationship. I feel 100%. Like we're very, you know, aligned with, but yeah, there's a lot of things where we're just like talking two different languages.
Yeah, and that's important as well. It's like he can sway you in ways, you can sway him, and then you're firm in things that really feel kind of right to you, I guess.
Yeah. And I think he's challenged me a lot when it comes to my ideas and my beliefs, which has been vulnerable, frustrating, but also very expansive. Like I think before I met him, I felt so like rock solid in what I believed and what I thought was right. And there's been so many conversations that like at the start have almost been triggered. I'm like, you think that? Or like, stop questioning me, stop making me have to justify myself. And now I'm like, oh, cool. Like, it's actually really valuable to know why you believe something, or like, you're not just repeating something you heard on the internet 2 years ago. Like, you've got a valid belief behind it.
100%. You know? He seems that way. Yeah. That brings me to the next question. You were saying that you guys share similar values. Excusez-moi. You guys share similar core values. Did you guys talk about stuff like that before committing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, context, I'm his first girlfriend, and he was like, I'm
Worried.
not having a girlfriend until she's like this, like, he's been so
Hot boy shit.
stern. Yeah. Hot boy energy. I mean, I'm sure he had his flings. he's had his, fun, but like, he was like, before he moved up here, he was adamant that I had to be like the one, otherwise he was just like not interested.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So he's very like, for me, it's just been very like, follow your heart, lead with that. Like, yeah, this feels good in the moment.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
for him,
yeah.
he's like, everything's been calculated and he's
Yeah.
been so clear on like from the start.
The difference. You guys are the perfect example of different brains. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you operate in, you guys
Completely
polarize each other so well, I reckon.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, it's actually just like
so funny.
so
It's just,
funny.
like-
If I could go back and listen to the conversations we had at the start, I would just like die of laughter because we're just both saying completely different things and misunderstanding each other. And
yeah.
it's taken time to get to a point where we're like, oh, okay, I understand you.
Yeah. That's cool that you moved through that.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was worth all the hard conversations. But yes, to answer your question, we spoke about a lot of things. Definitely like what we wanted our futures to look like, what our political beliefs are. Again, like some of them didn't align, but I feel like the more we've had conversations, the more they have.
Yeah. It's
Yeah. And lifestyles.
cool.
I don't know. I think we've kind of like merged together on certain things.
You were both willing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
Open to learn from each other.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So my neighbour told me about this thing that him and his love of 30 years did, where he, before he asked her to be his girlfriend, he like created a document that said like, I vow to show up as the best version of myself every day for the amount of time that I'm in your life. And they both signed it and they just lived this like beautiful fruity love. And
That's so sweet.
it was really sweet. They had just, they were just like, it's because when I talk about love, I get a bit flushed.
Really?
Sometimes, yeah. I love the idea of being honest about my shortcomings, like off the get.
Yeah.
And not like hiding things. I know that we all put our best foot forward when we meet someone that we're interested in. It's what you do. But I just like, I don't know. I love the idea of just being fucking honest. What was it like for you to begin with? Like, do you feel like I've read a little bit about like where you were at, and it seemed like you spent quite a 7 years single, was it? Or 6 years or something before?
Don't add any. Yeah, I think it was like 6 years single.
Yeah, it's pretty like, I feel like that's pretty powerful having that amount of time on your own to really dive in.
Yeah.
How did it feel kind of attracting that in?
I mean, 6 years single wasn't necessarily like a devotion. It wasn't like, I'm going single. I just genuinely didn't meet anyone that
No, Joe feel. I'm not even saying
vibed,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
No, I get it.
But yeah, I think.
I reckon it's more powerful. I didn't mean it in a way.
No, I know. Yeah. I'm just like reflecting. I'm like, was I? Like,
No.
Just want to clarify.
Yeah,
You know, I think it would be a cooler flex if I did like
8 years,
set out with it.
8 years
But
sabbatical.
yeah. I did do a year of abstinence though, which was so healing for me in so many ways.
One of those fucking involuntary.
Yeah. Look, it started involuntary and I was like, you know what? Let's just
ride this. So feel free to grab some
let's just
fruity
call this
from there.
Yes, please.
They're little organic from the market.
How good.
Okay.
Fruity fruits.
So, so I feel like did we answer that?
No.
Okay.
Let me go there. Let me
yeah.
think. How did it feel going into dating someone from being single for that long?
Just how did it feel going into dating someone?
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it's a bit fucking foreign when
Yeah.
you don't date for a while.
At the start of it, I maybe romanticized it a lot because, I mean, he lived in Sydney and he was visiting Byron. So when he asked to get a coffee and I was like, I looked at his profile and I was like, so it was on Instagram and I was like, oh God, he's like a pretty Sydney boy. Like, not it. Like, that's not, I don't know. And I said to my friends, I was like, should I go meet this guy? And they were like, you haven't been on a date in like years. Like, yes, you should go and do it. And I was like, okay. So I kind of went into it just with like, you know, I might just like, I'm getting myself out of my comfort zone, might meet a friend, might like him, who knows, open.
Cool.
But yeah, so I would say I probably was quite nervous going into it. I don't really remember too much, but after our first date, like we just talked for hours. We met, watched sunset, went and got dinner, got a drink, like just, it was like 5 or 6 hours of just chit chat. I think we spoke about our relationship with our parents and our dads.
Straight
and,
off the bat.
you know, straight off the bat, like we went deep. And yeah, at the end of it, like we gave each other a hug, goodbye, and that was it. And I got in the car and I was like, is that a date? Like, I don't know. Like, I really enjoyed his company and I thought he was cute, but then I just, yeah, I got in my head of like, oh, like maybe that was not a date at all. And I just misread the situation.
It's good. I feel like that's a more secure approach.
Yeah.
Just not listening to your heart.
Yeah. But then, yeah, we went on a second date and kissed on that date. But I actually spoke about this with Tom the other night. I was like, he said, like, I went into the first time meeting you of zero expectations and I was fine with whichever way it went. And, like, there was no, I had no intention. I was just, like, wanting to meet someone new, you know? And, like, I thought you looked beautiful and I wanted to get to know you and I thought you were really interesting and, like, that was that.
Cool.
So I think...
It's a pure intention.
Yeah, like, just entering a date with, like, the intention to connect with someone, because you don't want to go into it being like, I don't give a shit. You know, like, that's not cute. Like, don't do that. But just an intention to, like, connect with someone and let it blossom from there.
Cool.
Whichever way it does.
That's a nice little story. I like that. And how does that feel in your body, that love?
Freeing, safe, which feels contradictory, those two words together.
I reckon a beautiful kind of oxymoron.
Yeah. Freeing and safe.
Very nice.
And strong. Like, it's... I think our love and his love and my love has made me, like, love my body and be connected to my body.
Cool.
I think, I've had a tumultuous relationship with my body, so I think to be in the place where I am now of just, like, just so much reverence for my body and, like, the connection I have to it and, you know, being able to just completely, like, be in it.
Yeah.
Especially in front of someone else, because that's scary and that can be really vulnerable. But yeah, that feels nice to feel that.
Cool. Oh, that's beautiful. This has a trigger warning for you. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I just thought, how important do you think having a solid father figure is?
That's a good question. Very important. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that I like the word father figure, because I think that might be an uncle, that might be a brother, family friend, or whatever.
Well, yeah. Nice.
So, but somebody who is representative of a father figure, I think, very important. I think that really shapes your relationship with men, and you know, whether you're straight or not, I feel like it's still would impact your relationship with men and how you view men. Yeah, I think my relationship with my dad has shaped me hugely, in some ways good, in some ways bad. I don't know where to go from there.
I
don't know how deep to go.
That's great. That's so great. Yeah, I'd never seen it kind of in that way, the father figure. I said it like that, but I felt it in a different way.
Oh, okay.
So that's really cool. What's your opinion on accountability?
Self-accountability, I think, is like the highest form of self-care to exist. I feel like it's so hard to talk about this because I just know so many people have certain opinions on self-accountability and victim mentality, and I think, you know, the lines blur sometimes and there's nuance that's required when talking about it, but I think self-accountability is just like the most important thing you can do for yourself. Being responsible for the way that you act and behave and speak, the decisions that you make, what you allow to impact you and what you allow to not impact you, how you process your emotions and how that translates to your relationships with people. Like, I think self-accountability is the most potent thing when it comes to like moving forward and
Yeah.
being a better person and understanding certain patterns that keep coming up in your life. I think that's like a huge thing for me, especially, you know, like when there's been patterns that reoccur, I'm like, oh shit, okay, like
Hello.
it's awkward because you're like, oh, like there's shame that's around it when you
For sure.
sit with yourself and you're like, oh, like I'm the problem.
Yeah.
Like, cool. But it's also a freeing thought because you're like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, I'm in control. Like,
Yeah.
I can take this information and I can do something about it.
Big time.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time people kind of blame external factors and
Big time. It's true.
other people, and they're like, it's not me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think self-accountability is really important.
Yeah. No, it's so true. It's so true. So yeah, it's an interesting one to become super familiar with. You talked a little bit about your relationship with your body image and how it helped quite a lot to break through to the next phase of self-love in that way.
Yeah.
Do you practice sending your body love? Is that like a thing? Is it an active practice?
I would say it's become a subconscious practice.
Nice.
It's not something that I
You don't
do
sit in the
with
mirror and go,
intent.
I love you. No.
No, but I have in the past.
Yeah.
And I think that's why now it's more of a subconscious thing. Just like the self-talk that comes up when I'm looking in the mirror, or just being naked and accepting how my body looks in different angles and positions, and just relaxed.
Cool.
And movement, I think, is a huge part of my self-love practice when it comes to my body.
Yeah.
Like moving it and like allowing energy to be released and
Big time.
feeling strong in my body. And also not putting any pressure on like physically how my body looks.
Cool.
I think that took like a fucking long time to get to. And like maybe still it still exists to some extent, but like just knowing that like it doesn't fucking matter what it looks like. Like it's just so, you know, as long as I'm taking care of it and I'm, you know, like it's doing the work, you know? It's keeping me alive, like and I nourish it, I eat good, I exercise, like that's all that matters. I don't need to be like so fixated on
for sure
how it looks.
So good. Oh, that seems lovely. Yeah, it's funny. I hear very often people say like, "You'll never, you know, it'll never fully go," and it's like I just hear that too often, and I'm just like, it's a crazy thought to subscribe to, and like I've found myself subscribing to it and just being like, oh, I've taken a few steps back. Like over the Christmas period, I was maybe feeling a little bit emotional and probably overdid it a little bit, and I look at it and I'm like, I didn't overdo it. I just did like a normal fucking human.
Yeah. Just indulge like everyone else.
Yeah, just fully indulge. But then I had to go through another process of like really accepting my body as it was. And it was just like a big, beautiful kind of release. I want one of those cookies so bad.
I eat cookies every week too.
I realized that if I eat it, it's going to like chomp into the mouth. Because I had
ASMR.
Yeah, I'm like, shit. I wanted to do a 3-second countdown question.
Ready.
All right. Guilty pleasure.
Fuck, I don't know. I don't feel guilty about it.
It has to be the first. It has to be the first thing that comes to your head. It can be super weird too. The first thing that comes to your head. You can have 5 seconds if you want.
Give me 20. Like I don't.
Oh, you don't feel guilty. Well, that's you're.
This is the thing. I'm enlightened. No, I don't feel guilty about any of my pleasures. Like genuinely.
That's so good.
Like I can't think of anything that I do that I'm like.
Do you ever like go to bed without brushing your teeth and it feels good?
Nah, could never. Although I do use natural toothpaste, and Tom's always like, "That doesn't fucking work," and I'm like,
bro.
I'm like, "Yes, it does," and he's like, "I'm telling you now, it doesn't work," and I'm like, "All right, well, you know,
fluoride, yeah,
yeah, fuck off with your fluoride."
Nah, Grants all the way, dog.
Yeah, Grants.
I'm gonna have a word for him, eh? Send him a couple of videos on fluorides.
Yeah, oh, he knows. He's just like, and I'm like,
never had a feeling in these things, mate.
Yeah, my teeth are great. I go to a holistic dentist. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake. I'm like, they said nothing's wrong. He's like,
that's it.
It's because they didn't check anything.
Oh, that's so funny. That's fucking hilarious. Vegemite or Promite?
Neither.
Manual or auto?
Auto.
Uh, auto.
I drove a manual for 20 minutes on the freeway when Tom and I did a road trip down to Melbourne. Stalled it coming off. Was
Yeah.
like, I'm not doing this. He drove the whole way.
Good
Yeah.
hustle. Oh, and-
Vegemite or Promite? That was top tier there.
Thank you.
You like Vegemite?
Yeah, I'm a Vegemite girl. I think Promite just sucks.
Isn't Promite like the British version?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm like, what did you guys do? And how do your taste buds prefer this over Vegemite? It's strange. But pulp or no pulp in your OJ?
Pulp.
Nice.
Keep it pulpy.
Nice. And rain or sun?
Sun.
And is passion important to you?
Yeah, I think so. I think without it, it's pretty boring existence.
Ain't that the truth? And your core values, like with your mans, are they the same kind of core values with your friends?
That's a good question. That's something I pondered on last year a lot. I had completely different standards for my different types of relationships, whether it's with friends, family, or with Tom. I think maybe they should be quite similar when it comes to friendships and partnerships, but I would say that the values are a bit different. I think with my friends, I value like laughter and joy and play a lot more. Whereas I feel like with Tom, maybe our relationship's a little bit more like serious and passionate and intimate.
Intellectual. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hot, nice.
Yeah. So I
That's
think
cool.
it's nice to have the contrast.
Yeah, big time.
Because I don't expect my friends to be like everything for me. I don't expect my partner to. It's nice to have the.
I love that. And is there something recently that you've picked up that's been interesting or intriguing?
I love the Diary of a CEO podcast.
Oh, I was listening to that just
Fucking
before this.
fascinating.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I just
hey?
love the way he asks questions and
Yeah.
the people that he interviews like are so multifaceted. And
You're right.
it's very interesting.
Correct.
Driving in silence.
Mm-hmm.
Does some things.
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to add? Where can the people find you? I'll put it in the bio.
In
the
the
little
bio.
journals in the bio.
Yeah, Woi Journal. Yeah, it's pronounced Woi. I'm glad we clarified that.
Yeah. Oh, fabulous. So, well, that's fucking all we've got here, folks.
Love it.
It was so lovely to have you, and I'm so excited to eat a cookie.
Yay! Can you keep the cameras rolling while you eat a cookie? Is it good or bad?
It's so fucking good. That's delicious. Thank you.
I get joy out of watching people eat baked goods.